Well, good afternoon and welcome to CBM Calling for Tuesday, August the 18th. I am joined this afternoon by my colleague, Adrian Gardner, and we're here to celebrate Active in Mission. This is an event that happened this past week where we raised funds for composting latrines in rural El Salvador. And we're here to celebrate and to share some stories because we set a goal to raise $15,000, which we felt was really ambitious, to be able to raise 20 latrines in 2020 to add to the 20 latrines that we had already built previously this year. In fact, at the end of our event, we have raised $32,472. So we are here to celebrate and to share some stories with you.
Yeah, it's incredible, Louise. And both you and I have traveled to El Salvador, and we've seen this work firsthand and seen the impact that it has on rural communities. It's just an incredible model of equipping the local church to get outside their four walls, to partner with community members, to partner with their congregation, to identify needs and work to address those in the name of Jesus. So that's an incredible model of community transformation. And I guess on behalf of our partner in El Salvador and the community of Metalillo and other communities in El Salvador, just like to say thank you to everyone who participated, who raised funds, who donated, who in any way were part of Active in Mission. You've been part of working towards clean water, promoting justice in El Salvador, and helping improve the lives of vulnerable people. So again, thank you. Louise, there's all kinds of fun things that happened, all kinds of really varied activities. How did your team make out?
Well, I had a great team. I had three girlfriends who joined me for this event, and we had to change our plans just a little bit. We raised funds. We raised enough to build one composting latrine, and we had planned actually to do a fairly difficult hike here just outside Halifax. But the day that we chose, it happened to be a heat warning. So we had to shift our plans a little bit. It was about 42 degrees on my back deck. So we decided to do a slightly easier hike that ended with a swim. So even though we didn't have the same challenge, we were doubly active in mission for this. So we had a really great time. Yeah, just a really good day. How about your team? I know you had an ambitious goal.
Yeah, it was lots of fun. We, as a family, first of all, took it on and said we were going to together do 75 kilometers, hiking, walking, running that week. And again, the week before was really quite temperate, really quite nice. And then the week of the event was heat warning. So we did it. We did the 75 kilometers. And then we had some people join our team. So my father joined, and he managed to do quite a distance as well. And good friends of ours from New Brunswick, who we worked with when we lived there, also joined our team as a family, and they were part of it. So that was really good.
That's awesome. And I feel like the heat warnings, really just made it feel like we were back in El Salvador. Again, right. Maybe not quite as hot, but I know it was over 40 when my team was there building latrines. So I was just very much on theme. We do have some great stories. We do want to just celebrate for a few moments this afternoon. And so we're going to just show you some photos of some highlights, just give some shout outs to some people who have joined on to Active in Mission and tell you about what they've done.
That's great. Let's start, Louise, with the people who raised the most. So individually and as a team. So congratulations and thank you to our colleague Dennis Shierman, Canadian Baptist Ministries rep for Western Canada, lives in Calgary. Dennis committed to walk 25 kilometers for each latrine that he was able to raise support for. Dennis raised $3,000 on his own. It's incredible. So he's got some walking to do. I suspect he probably already has it done, but Dennis did a great job. Now, the next one, the team that raised the most, is kind of a difficult one for me to highlight, but it's the team called WBA, not the, WNBA, the Women's National Basketball Association, but WBA. And I saw this team on Cosvox on Active in Mission. I thought, what is this? And asked someone who was on it, because it's all our colleagues at the office. And it turns out it stands for We're Better Than Adrian. So the We're Better Than Adrian team raised $4,530. But the joke's on them because I'm taking credit for inspiring them in their fundraising efforts. So yeah, thanks and well done, WBA. You're definitely better than me.
We just knew how competitive you were. So I confess I was asked to join the team, but I refrained. I had my own team.
You're a good friend.
But certainly job well done. I want to highlight a few people who did some really creative things with this. Of course, it was just called active admission, and we encourage you to get active in whatever way you want it to. So shout out to our colleague, Lisa Velakis. She spent several days swimming laps in her pool in her backyard. We saw some photos. Her son even joined her one morning on those laps. So thanks to Lisa. Our friend Kelly Moore and her family, they hiked Franey Mountain Trail in the Cape Breton highlands, and that trail is rated as difficult. I have not hiked that trail. I've done ones around there, so I can only imagine the difficulty. At least, Kelly has a great video of them reaching the top of the mountain, and it is so inspiring and so beautiful. So thanks so much to Kelly Moore and your family. And also Sonya Tetley. She did a run, ride, and raft of 15 kilometers with her family as well. Riding was on bicycles, and then rafting down a river in Ontario. So thanks to Sonya.
Yeah, and with all these things, there's always some people who go way over and above. So I want to highlight a couple who really got active. And first is our friend Renee MacVicar and her family. It was amazing to see the charts on the wall as together as a family they worked towards this, and their whole family again did 75 kilometers of different types of activity, biking. No surprise, Renee was running, walking. So thank you, MacVicar family. And also our colleague Gordon Brew and his team Got the Trots. I remember when we were talking about this and saying we could do like a 5-kilometer run, Gordon said, oh, that's not enough. They ended up doing 10 kilometers 10 times. And Gordon donated an extra amount for every time they managed to beat just a certain time target. So congratulations to Team Got the Trots, and thanks for taking it to that extreme.
Awesome. Well, there are some other stories that we want to tell. One of the things I've learned in ministry, I guess, is that it's got to be fun. It has to be fun, and we really wanted this event to be a lot of fun. We started the planning for it sort of in the thick of COVID here in Canada, and we thought this is something that everybody can do regardless of your restrictions. And it's going to be fun. We're going to allow people to do whatever. If they want to hula hoop, somersault, run, bike, whatever it is, we want this to be fun. We have a couple stories that turned out to be not so fun. Gary and Carla Nelson. Gary used to be the executive director of CBM a number of years ago, and they signed up, and we were so glad to see them join. And they decided to bike 75 kilometers, which is really ambitious, on their tandem bicycle. And so they decided that they would sort of get out there and start with a few practice runs. And they actually had an accident. The pictures are there. We read about it on Facebook and saw it in their updates on their page, where Gary took the brunt of their wipeout and actually fractured 5 ribs in this. So our best wishes to Gary. We hope that you're healing up really well. They had a goal to raise $750. Carla's dad had indicated that he would match that, but they have certainly surpassed that goal, and they have raised $2,740 for their event for raising funds for latrines. So thank you so much, even though they were not able to fully complete their 75-kilometer ride. Thank you so much to everyone who's continued to support them. And we love you so much, Gary and Carla. And Gary, we hope you're feeling better soon. Mm-hmm. Adrian, you are in Ontario. And I don't know, did you know that there are venomous snakes there?
Only recently did I learn about venomous snakes in Ontario.
I didn't know we had any in Canada, but our current executive director, Terry Smith, had had a pretty serious run-in with a venomous snake. Terry decided he would kayak 75 kilometers, and during one of his outings, he came face to face, or I guess snake to kayak, with the Massassauga rattlesnake. And I did a little research on these just out of curiosity. And what I read on every site that I came across indicated that these snakes are actually quite shy. And one site said they are not aggressive by nature.
I can Terry brings that out.
Yeah, so I'm not sure all that happened on that paddle, but there is a short video on Terry's Facebook before the snake climbed into his kayak and he jumped out of the kayak into the water. I can't imagine how quickly he got back in and how quickly he paddled back to shore and how quickly his heart was beating, probably for days after that. So thank you, Terry, for persevering through that near-death experience and raising $1,140 for latrines.
Yeah, definitely. One of our hopes in this was that people would get together as churches or youth groups and participate, as protocols allowed, together and join a team. So it was great to see some churches be part of that. I want to highlight one from Nova Scotia, the Groundswell team. In Truro, Nova Scotia, joined with Randy Stanton, our Atlantic rep, and a number of them did some different activities, but a number of them actually participated in a bicycle ride, a bike from New Glasgow, where Randy lives, to Truro, to the Grow Hope field, actually, where people are growing corn in support of the Canadian Food Grains Bank, and CBM's projects with that. So that was a significant bike ride, and it was great to see that whole group do it together. As a group, they raised $3,332, which is incredible. So thanks, Groundswell, for being part of Active in Mission. Louise, I know you want to highlight the youth groups too, but just before you do that, just to say, Dennis Shierman says he's almost there. So our top fundraiser has commented, and he's almost done his walking, probably has a little bit more to do than maybe he thought at first because he was so successful in his fundraising. But again, thanks, Dennis, for being part of this.
Awesome. Well, we do have two youth groups that we want to highlight. The first is Andrew Sutherland's youth group at Birch Cove Baptist here in Halifax. They did a hike around Long Lake and they raised close to $300. So thank you so much to those youth for jumping on board with this. I was able to swing by the church just the day before they did the hike and drop off some emoji tattoos and some buttons. So I hope that you've received those, and those will be a reminder of your Active in Mission event, and also hopefully a reminder to pray for our friends in El Salvador. We also want to highlight Mill Bay Baptist Fellowship and their youth pastor, Tammy Klassen, who's also a good friend. They did a 10K walk on their Serve at Home event. They're in BC, and Serve at Home was an event in Western Canada through the Canadian Baptists of Western Canada. And so thank you so much for your incredible 10K walk. I know it was hot that day as well. And I saw some pictures that your team was rewarded with Sour Flush candy plungers and powder dip toilets. That is a candy I am not familiar with, but certainly I can't commit to eating it, but I'm certainly gonna see if I can find that here on the East Coast. So thank you so much to Mill Bay Baptist. You guys are incredible. It was great to meet you last summer at Serve, and thank you so much for raising just over $600. Thank you. And again, we just want to say thank you. Thank you seems really inadequate. It doesn't seem like enough, given all that so many of our churches and youth groups and friends and colleagues right across the country have done for this initiative. This is so much more than just providing toilets. This is really a transformational project that we are so honored and so pleased to be a part of in rural El Salvador, where we're giving hopefully dignity back to people, to say that we see you, we hear you, you are not forgotten, we love you deeply, you are created in the image of God. And through building these composting latrines with the community and along with the families who are receiving them, we are saying that we love these people so deeply, and that's because of the love of Christ that we have for them. So thank you so much for your support for this project. The donation page is still open. If you'd like to donate, you're welcome to go to activeinmission.ca and do so. And once again, we've raised $32,472, which is just above and beyond what we could have ever imagined. So thank you so much. We hope that you'll join us here again next week, next Tuesday, same time, same place. We'll be joined by our field staff, Daryl and Laura Lee Buston, who will give us an update on what they've been up to. So once again, thank you so much, and God bless.
Thanks, Louise.